Hello, girls, guys, or otherwise. This is Rich, and today is Christo-Paganism Sunday or Christo-Pagan Sunday. And today we're talking about idols and iconography and statuary and how we can use them in our Christo-Pagan practice. So, this doesn't only go for Christo-Pagans, this can go for any pagans out there, any witches. And I am a little preoccupied with Jelly. Yeah, she doesn't like being held, but she really, really wanted some attention today. So, yeah, as soon as I came into the witchy room here, she was coming in, and oh my gosh, she just started meowing and talking, and now I have fur on me. Excuse me. Um, but she started talking to me and everything, and like I think she wanted her kitty treats. Oh my gosh, I picked them up. She's going crazy again. Okay, we're gonna give you We're gonna give you one more treat. Okay? Right here. There you go. Go wild. They're little chicken treats and they're like freeze dried. She loves these things. Anyway, so I wanted to do this. I was going to do it yesterday while I was at work and whatnot, or today while I was at work, but I wanted to wait until I got home in order to be able to do this video so I can show you some of the statuary that I have and some of the things that I use in my practice. Some of the things I have not used yet, but I find them really interesting and I want to explore that part. So, anyway, let's get into what statuary and iconography is. Iconography are things such as this, and I'm not getting a good picture of it. Let me adjust y'all here, and that didn't help one iota. Okay, so here, let me just block me. Okay, so iconography is whenever you have a picture of somebody. A lot of times you'll see them in this Catholic or Greek Orthodox type of imagery, nice and medieval looking and whatnot. You can find these fairly easily if that is something that you would like to find. Statuary, on the other hand, are, of course, little statues, and you can find these just about anywhere depending on what type of statue that you are looking for. If you're looking for say something a little bit more pagan like Pan. Pan is kind of easier to find than somebody like what's an obscure one? Not even obscure, but Odin. Odin would not exactly be an easy one to find. Um, so sometimes you have to do a little digging. Some websites specialize in statuary and iconography and whatnot, and you can make your own iconography. I mean, seriously, you can draw a picture or print out a picture, color it in, or make your own embellishments and whatnot on a printed picture and hang that up. Really, what you're trying to do here is you're going to be using this as a focal point. Whether you are, let me adjust you guys here a little bit because this is getting a little annoying having it right in front of me. So what you're really trying to do is you're trying to make it a focal point for whenever you're doing prayers or offerings, or whenever you are at the altar, whenever you have them as a representation. At least that's how I use statuary and iconography in my practice. Primarily, I do use, excuse me for bumping this, I'm still getting used to having a boom mic, okay? So let's just chill out about that. Anyway, the most commonly used for me is Christ because I am a Christo-Pagan, and my rendition of Sophia. Um, so what I did here is this is an obvious Mary statue. However, I took a little bit of Sharpie. This is made out of plastic. It's nothing high end or anything, but it's made out of plastic. And I took Sharpie and I colored her in. One day it came to me to color her in. Now, I'm not the best artist out there, but these are the colors and this is the look that I ended up with, and I'm quite happy with it. But this is my human form of Sophia, and um, in my thought process, the Mary Magdalene. So, and I believe that's with some Gnostics out there and whatnot. They do believe that Mary Magdalene was the embodiment of Sophia on earth and whatnot. So, and I think that's a common thread with many Gnostics out there. So, that's something that came to me outside of studying Gnosticism and whatnot. So, pretty cool that there was a common thread there, that it came to me, and it happens to be something that was being practiced by others. Let me take a drink of my Pepsi here, hashtag not sponsored. But this is actually part of a last rites or sick call set that this would slide into it, and you can hang it on the wall, or you can have it sitting in a little notch in it and have it there while they while they give you a blessing and whatnot for the sick. And I got that because I do clean outs. I deal in antiques and collectibles and whatnot, and that's just something that you happen to find in a Catholic's house, and I thought it was really cool. So I figured, you know what? Not only is it cool, it's a good representation. I have a couple representations of Christ. I have slightly less representations of Sophia, and that's because she hasn't been in my practice as long as Christ has. So I do have my eye on a very nice Sophia statue. Whenever I get it, I will share. But basically, what I do with these, especially whenever I am doing the rosary and whatnot, I usually have Sophia there, or the Gnostic rosary, and I will have it, and I showed it in my previous video. Which one was it? The rosary video, where I have my kneeler over here, and I have a little box. If you haven't seen that video, it was a couple days ago, so go back and watch that. I show you guys the kneeler that I have, and I have a box right above that I can stick a statue in, or some iconography. I have a smaller version. This is actually Saint Nicholas, and I have a smaller version of him as well. It's a little like a little plaque type, and I don't know exactly where that one's hiding. I think it's somewhere in this room. Not exactly sure. Actually, I think it might be. It might be up in here. Anyway, off topic. But that one's somewhere around here. I would put that in the little box area if I have certain prayers for certain individuals. So let me take you on a walk through some of the statuary that I have. I do have, like I said, my version of Sophia. I already showed you my version of Christ that I have. And I don't really work with Kuan Yin, but I do have a little Kuan Yin that I got up in the New York Chinatown area. And I kind of love the way that this one looks. There are several different versions of Kuan Yin, and I do enjoy some of the stories of Kuan Yin. So I would love to work with her more in the future, just haven't gotten really around to doing that now. I'm sorry, I have like a piece of fur or something still stuck right there. Anyway, just ignore me. I have my little Buddha. I have a couple different versions of Buddha, and this one's getting a little dirty, and I'm not here for it. I need to actually go through and dust all of these, and I'll talk about that too. I wasn't originally going to talk about it, but I will now. Here I have Moses. This is actually the horny Moses, as I call him, because he has little horns. And I can't remember who did this version. I think it was it Raphael Berlini, or Anyway, you guys can look them up. Look up Moses with horns, and you will be able to find this version of Moses. I really, really enjoy this. Again, haven't really worked with Moses as much, but do enjoy the stories that go along with Moses, and I like having him there. Maybe I will in the future incorporate him into my practice a little bit more. I don't see him being a huge figure in my practice, but I think he will make an appearance. Now, this one here, this one got broken, and it's actually St. Peter, and I was able to find his hand that broke off. And this is actually giving me very much Hierophant vibes in the tarot. Very much so. You can see he has his key to heaven there. He is giving the Hierophant blessing. And yeah, kind of love this one. St. Peter is actually good for prosperity magic. You can call on him for that. Basically, you put him facing the front of your house, like the entryway and whatnot. And he doesn't have a spot there right now. He did in the past. But you put St. Peter so he's looking towards the front of your house, and I would give him like offerings or something like that. I would give him some sort of offering and do some sort of mantra with him. I've done it in the past, and it has worked out okay. Maybe that's because I haven't worked as much with him, and maybe it's because I need to tweak my spell work on that one just a little bit more to be a little bit more personalized. Now, this one is Saint Francisco de Pula. I don't know who exactly he is. I don't see that as a Saint Francis. Like that's not Saint Francis of Assisi, but definitely gives me hermit vibes. Whenever I saw this one, I picked it up immediately because it definitely gave me hermit vibes. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, the hermit is like one of the cards that I really gravitate towards. It's one of those cards in a deck of tarot that I have to jive with it. And there are a couple of decks where I don't, but the rest of the artwork is fantastic, so I keep it anyway. Or it's because I already bought it, and I'm going to keep it because, well, I'm not going to return a tarot deck, just because I don't like one card. But yeah, definitely gives me hermit vibes, this one does. And the wonderful thing about having statuary and having especially statuary of saints, if you start working with saints, you find out more about them. Different saints, if you're not aware, they can help with different aspects. They can help with different situations, and they can actually help you in different ways. So say like with Saint Peter, he's good for prosperity and whatnot. Kuan Yin has a lot of different qualities to her. Moses, I would say, would be more towards laws and obeying the laws. So maybe in a court case. I've not looked up Moses and what he is actually associated with, but being the bringer of God's law in the biblical texts, in the Christian mythos, in the Judeo-Christian mythos, I would say that he would be a lot more with laws and whatnot. Now, one other thing I have up here, this is, I think, one of two that I have. This is a Ganesh statue that I have, and I put him up there. But I do have another one, and I think he is in the dining room at the moment. But I do have statuary all throughout the house, and it's not uncommon for me to come by a piece of statuary and say, hey, I kind of like this. It jives with me. Like, this guy. He jives with me. I like the way he looks, and it's a piece of statuary, and I will find out who he is, and I will find out, what he's good for, and I will work with him in one way or another. So that's something that in the future I'm going to work with more and more. I don't think I have any other ones. Oh, I do have another piece of iconography that I can show you, and that is right there. Oh, the glare. And that is a statue of Pan, or I'm not a statue, a painting of Pan. This was done back in the 80s, and if I had not said this, I may have said it before on this channel, but maybe I haven't said it in a long time. So, anyway, that painting there is basically the exact image that I saw during a meditative practice of Pan. And he came to me, and I worked with Pan for a while, and it was mostly dealing with my sexuality and whatnot, and being more open to it and whatnot, being more open as a gay male. So that is actually the image that I saw. It wasn't the bearded Pan, and it wasn't the older Pan. It was this young, hot Pan that I saw. So I started working with Pan more, and it made me more and more comfortable with my sexuality and whatnot. So I actually found this painting at a Ren fair. I think it was like a year later or later that year. I found that painting, and I'm like, I have to have it. Take my money. How much do you want? I think I got it for like $60, which for me was, it was a steal. I think maybe I paid more. I don't know. Can't remember. Doesn't matter. He's not going anywhere. And I got it from the artist, so that was really cool too. So anyway, those are some things that you can use them for, is whatever their association is. Like for me, Sophia is my matron. She sits there, and she is the ruler of wisdom. So I will sit there and meditate or pray or sacrifice my time, my own energies towards her, and she will impart wisdom or give me a challenge of wisdom that she imparts on me. Christ is more for healing and more for the knowledge aspect, not necessarily wisdom, but knowledge, like the book smarts. Wisdom is more, having that, and it's hard to explain the differences between knowledge and wisdom, the way my brain makes it rationalized. Okay, maybe that's a good word. Knowledge is more the rationalized knowing, and wisdom is more of the caring, nurturing type of finding out. I don't know if that really makes sense. I hope it does. But those are some different ways that you can use your iconography or your statuary. Iconography is fairly easy. You put it up, and you can use it in a similar way as statuary. And with iconography, you can have this very easily. If you are not out of the broom closet, you can have it in your book of shadows. You can have it in a regular picture book, and you can open it up. Boom, you have makeshift altar with God, goddess, or any one of the saints that you want to work with, or any imagery that you want to work with. So let's talk about some housekeeping aspects. Now, I have been a bad housekeeper of some of these objects because they have not been dusted in a while. That is one thing that you should be doing. Don't be like me. Now, I will say that with Moses, he has gotten quite a bit of dust in the folds. Now, one thing is, if I were just this stupid mic, if I were to start working with Moses more and more, maybe I get a Q-tip and I get into all the cracks and crevices and clean them up to the most that I can. St. Peter doing the same thing. Son of a gun with this mic. Same thing is dusting him off, making sure that he's well taken care of, well prepared. Let's see, Kuan Yin, she's pretty clean, but she's like a plastic resin. So she stays pretty clean pretty easily. Sophia is very well taken care of, and she gets wiped down fairly frequently. And Christ doesn't have any, nope, he hasn't gotten any dust on him, so he's good to go. But yeah, keeping your statuary well taken care of, making sure that they are tended to. If it is a saint, a figure in your life, I'm just going to use figure because deity, figure, saint, even statuary of an individual. Say that you wanted to work with the energies of Albert Einstein, you can have a bust of Albert Einstein there, and that's okay. Why not? Who says you can't? I don't think Einstein ever said you couldn't, but tending to them, making sure that they're taken care of, making sure that things are kept clean and well manicured, including the space around them. Now, I usually keep them up on this shelf right here, and I haven't dusted in a while. My life has been very hectic. I've been working 50 hours a week with an hour drive on some days, both ways. So, 12-hour days, 10 to 12-hour days, at very least 11. With drive times and whatnot, 11 to 12-hour days with drive time. So once I get home and I eat dinner and do a video or, do something that, either is spending time with Sophia or, maybe doing a tarot reading, doing a journal entry, catching up with my boyfriend, because we are living together, catching up with him. Maybe I watch a movie or something like that. After I do that, I kind of, have to go to bed, get up, and do the same thing over again. So, that all being said, yes, Moses has gotten neglected. And yes, I don't really work with him that much, but doesn't mean that I should not be taking care of him. So maybe that's something I need to change in my, in the future here in my life, is dusting them off, with St. Peter fixing his hand, putting that back on there. And yeah, maybe hanging up St. Christopher or St. Nicholas, hanging him up. He is actually good for business, and I used to have him in my old office whenever I was down in Florida, and let me tell you, he did a lot of work. So, and now Jelly's trying to get up on my lap so she can, sniff at the statuary. So cute, Jelly. You're awesome. Anyway, and like I said, statuary can be of anything or anyone that associates with a deity for you. Now, whenever I'm doing an invocation, I would rather invoke into a statue rather than invoke into myself. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't know if I've said it on this channel, but I've said it before on the Pagan Perspective. There's only enough room in here for me. Letting somebody else take over my body is not something I am comfortable with, whether it be through mediumship or through invoking deity. Not exactly something I'm comfortable with. So invoking into a statue and having that statue as a representation of the individual that I am working with, yeah, that's something that I totally do. And now that I say that, it makes me kind of rethink having Christ on a cross. So, yeah, maybe I might want to invoke Christ like not on the cross. That might be a good thing. Hmm. Never really thought about that one before until like just right now. Never seemed to bother him before, but yeah, maybe I'll do that in the future. So maybe I have to go shopping for another piece of statuary. So, with that all being said, do you have any statuary in your practice, and how do you use it? Do you use it in a similar fashion? In a similar way? Do you use it in a totally different way? Leave your comments below, and while you're down there, hit the subscribe button and give me a big old thumbs up if you like this video. Give me a thumbs down too if you didn't like this video. It's whatever. Pay tribute to the YouTube gods that control the algorithms and whatnot by leaving a thumbs up. It would be much appreciated. Anyway, I'm going to sign off of here because now I'm just rambling some nonsense. And I will see you guys on Tuesday. Tuesday we have tarot... Stupid mic. Tuesday we have Tarot Talk Tuesday, and we are doing the study on the Two of Swords. So go ahead and join me then. I'm going to try to get it this time where I can have it on the screen with me, do a side-by-side thing. I'm going to try to make that happen. I don't know why it wasn't doing it last time, but I'm going to try to make that happen this time. So go ahead and join me then for the Tarot Talk Tuesday with the Two of Swords, doing a somewhat in-depth discussion on that. With that all being said, until next time, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.